Be the right club. Be the right club today. Yes!
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most!
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up live show, presented as always by our friends at High Noon. This time from home studios, Solly here, joined by my guy, Mr. T. Ron Carter. Hello, TC. How we doing?
Hey, Solly, I'm good. I'm glad we avoided that massive parking garage fire today at Jack's.
Not good. We only missed it by a couple hours, but we actually didn't have a car parked there, but it would have been a pretty chaotic day. Mr. Icarito Neil Schuster spent the day out at the golf course, calling in from the Omni in Charlotte. Hello, Neil. How are you?
Yeah, Cody got me set up with a lovely setting here, lovely scene here at the Omni. Got a lot to talk about. Fun day at the course.
And joining us for the first time this week, Mr. Big Randy, calling in from Denver. Big, how are we doing?
I'm great. It looks like I missed out on a ton of fun yesterday. I want to congratulate you guys. Awesome live show. It looked like an amazing atmosphere. But it's nice to be on tonight, Solly. Thank you.
Yeah, want to give a big shout out to the folks at High Noon, Platform Sports, everyone in Charlotte. Folks at home, we here for you. We are working through the microphone issue on doing a live show. Our first time doing that. It was a great time, but could not believe the size of the crowd of everybody that came out. It was absolutely ridiculous, and it was very fun to do one of those in person. But no matter the forecast, live like the sun's always out with High Noon. It is made with real vodka, real tequila, and unlike other popular seltzer and hard tea brands, it delivers a clean finish and a refreshing taste. It's available in vodka seltzer, tequila seltzer, and non-carbonated vodka iced tea, all under 100 calories with crisp, delicious flavors for every occasion under the sun. I went with raspberry to start tonight. Peach is my backup if we end up going long. I know Randy's got some things he wants to get off his chest tonight. So what are you waiting for? Text your friends, make some plans, pick up a High Noon on the way. Visit highnoonspirits.com to find a High Noon near you. High Noon, sun's up. Randy, what is your story of the day from Friday at the Hollow?
Listen, a lot of different ways we can go. I'm going to perhaps surprise some people, and I'm going to try to be optimistic here.
Wow.
I think it's a fascinating leaderboard that we have heading into the weekend. So I guess my story of the day is just how we arrived at this point where, we have Jonathan Vegas, who honestly, guys, sometimes I didn't even know he was still on the PGA Tour. He is winning by 2 shots. But then you have this mix of guys that have never won a major. You have Scotty Scheffler, the best player in the world, in my opinion, lurking. Max Homa entered the fray. I just think it's a fun mix between guys that probably are going to get eviscerated this weekend, and then some guys that are hunting for that first major, and then guys like Scotty who, are playing for legacy and their career Wikipedia page. So we can get into how the first 2 days have gone specifically, but I do think we're set up for a very interesting final 2 days.
We're sitting so much better than we were last night. I mean, that was truly a comical, possibly worst major championship day we've experienced in our professional careers covering one in terms of storylines emerging. So I'm with you. We preached patience last night. We said it, it's early. Let's not overreact to day one. It's not, maybe the kind of golf course that's going to give us an amazing day one leaderboard, but after day two, it's clearing up a little bit. Still not what we would have maybe hoped for at going into the week, but improvement from yesterday. We do have some developing storylines, Randy. I almost also think, I was looking at this, you could form a team out of the players that missed the cut and a team out of players that made the cut. And I'm not positive the guys that made the cut would be the better team if you pick a group of 10 guys. There's some massive names that missed the cut that I know Randy's ready to talk about here. But TC, what's the biggest story of the day for you?
I didn't watch a whole lot of the morning. We were traveling, but both days it's been just the distinct lack of juice out there. Watching three of the best players in the world, Rory, Scotty, and Xander, coming down the stretch on the famed Green Mile, and like 14 through 18, like there's just nobody there. There's nobody. Like I'm not sure if all the corporate patrons died of pro golf starvation that Zarzer and company were talking about earlier this week, but it's just kind of a pitiful showing thus far from the great people of Charlotte. I think they're, maybe they're eating at their spots tonight, and then they're going to come out this weekend. But
I'm just at the Charlotte Observer right now. Just he's doing it again. He's doing it again. Judy, I need you on this. Kevin, I need you on this. Get it going. Everybody up. He's up.
No, I mean, here's the this is per my good friends over at Nuclear Golf. There's no EA, just nuclear. It's about Blocky. After firing an 82 on Friday, Michael Block told golf.com that the smaller crowd size resulted in poor performance en route to a miscut. That's kind of the funny part is I wish there was a huge crowd on every hole, because that's when I hit my shots. There's no one around is when I hit my worst shots. That's something that I need to around more in my life, is a bigger crowd. I just need to play a little bit better so it could happen. I could only imagine what would have happened if I would have been playing really good this week.
Are you sure this is a real quote?
I don't
I
know.
swear to God.
Real.
Have we confirmed though it's real?
Nuclear Golf will absolutely take something horrifically out of context.
With an Onion headline every now and then, TC. Be careful now. The trackers will get you.
I mean, Blocky's into next week. He already got an exemption into the Charles Schwab challenge.
I said that. I think I said it to you or somebody when we were walking around out there this week, TC. I was joking about him getting the sponsor exemption to the Schwab. I did not know that was actually going to happen.
And
Randy,
guys,
golf.com
golf.com is confirming the quote.
Wow. God, yeah, it's like that Peyton Manning commercial, at the grocery store. Cut that meat, having a crowd, having some people cheer just for everyday life. That's what Blocky needs. That's good stuff.
The guy finished 15 over, Neil.
I will say this: I was actually out there today. I do agree with you. Watching the end of coverage coming through the Green Mile, those boxes are empty. The Green Mile is empty, which is tough. But there were loads of people out there on the front nine all day. Big crowds, honestly, a lot bigger than
the strap folks are showing out in the C-suite.
Which is interesting. The front nine's not as interesting as the back nine, but there are a ton of people from basically 1 through 9. I was impressed with the crowd and everybody in a good mood, good spirits. It got a little rainy. We left around, I want to say 3:34, and it kind of started drizzling, so maybe that scared some people off. Muggy day, very humid, but regardless, I would say the crowds were major championship size from my eyes. Solly, story of the day for me, I think it's the pro. Max Homa, signs of life for multiple reasons. Max has struggled this season and end of last season, and Cody and I picked him up. We saw his last hole. He drove it in the rough on the left side of number 9, and he hit an awesome, it's probably 210, 220 out, hit an awesome iron to the center of the green, 2-putted and cleaned up for par. And kind of the round of the day out there. And it felt like the first big name to make some noise, to finally say, like, okay, you know what? Nobody else wants to take the ball. Give me the rock, Randy. Why don't you let me tote the rock for a little bit? Get up on the first page of the leaderboard, post a number, and it's his best major championship round in history.
By 3 shots.
By 3 shots. I mean, just kind of a banner day for Max. And so it's good to see it kind of a friendly name up there on the leaderboard.
I'm going to say my story of the day is the fact that he just continues to eat the elephant one bite at a time. Scotty Scheffler now plus 220 as the favorite to win the PGA Championship, down from plus 400 to plus 350 last night.
Elephant?
Yeah, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
A little bit at a time. God, everybody knows that.
Don't beat around the horse, TC.
Don't beat around. Come on. Don't try to get me twice this week. And he's slowly consuming this field. And he's sitting there T5, Still hasn't really played his best golf. His back nine was really, really good ball striking wise. I think I forget who said it when he got to the 18th hole. I think it was maybe Curtis Strange or Eddie North. They almost gave him a full found it. I think they said something like, "Oh, I think he's found something here," because he started hitting some golf shots down the stretch. Incredible shot in the 17, gag the putt, which is unfortunately still quite on brand for Scotty. But yeah, if he manages to win this week with like his maybe B- game, it's going to be one of his great crowning achievements in the game. And he's very much
72nd in putting.
One other thing from the Marvel super group that I noticed the last couple of days, Scotty gets outdriven by Xander and Rory by 20 yards on every hole. I mean, I don't know if it's because he's working the ball differently or if he's, Randy, like big tone situation. He's got 10 more in the, in the tank.
Holstered.
He's keeping it holstered for a special time. But it's interesting to see that because I don't think of Scotty as short off the tee. But maybe I'm not giving Xander, and it just kind of shows maybe how well Xander and Rory drive the ball or how far they drive the ball. But
Xander had a 357-yard miss hit on 16 and then hit 9 iron into that one.
I'm always flabbergasted by how much Xander moves it off the tee.
Yeah. It was, watching those guys play 14, playing 340 today, like, I don't know, probably 300 to the front, really like clunky 3-woods into the front right bunker. And then Rory hits a mediocre at best bunker shot out and has a 10-foot flat putt to the hole. It's like, what are we doing here, guys? Neil, late emerging topic for story of the day is your hair. All sorts of people in the chat are just abuzz about your hair. They're saying you look like Kid and Play.
Okay, I got a little flat top going on up top. I combed. I took a shower. It was like I said, very muggy out there. Got back to the hotel. Got a nice shower. Down. Yeah. Got a smash burger. Had a couple of cold ones at the bar. Randy watched the telecast on mute. Had one of those kind of casual golf fans next to me trying to explain it to his wife, but getting everything wrong. I did not speak up, but it was just kind of a fun setting to watch the end of the coverage today. But I appreciate the comments on the hair.
Excuse me, sir. As a professional golf podcaster, let me just correct you right there.
You'll sit there like the meme of the guy with the vein in his forehead. Just no.
The specific one. I'll give you this, not to digress, but the guy was. She was like, "What do those numbers mean on the right of the score box?" And he was like, "Oh, that's what hole they're on." And it was like, Scotty, they're on 15.
No, that's what how he played.
And right as he said that, Scotty, I think he had just chipped or hit his approach, and it said 15 on the flag, and I could almost tell the guy saw the flag, but he didn't correct himself, and I was like, "That's the last hole they've completed." I didn't say anything though. It was great.
Only because I'm afraid that we could legitimately do a show tonight and not mention this. I do want to pause for 1 second and say, Jonathan Vegas leads the PGA Championship through 2 rounds. He also led after 1 round. He made double bogey on the 18th hole today to only have a 2-shot lead. He could have a 4-shot lead if he'd have played the 18th hole better today. It's hard to stress how unlikely this was. I believe he was 500 to 1 coming into this week. Again, if you pull up that Data Golf page, one of the most improper players, you could a ball speed imposter TC or a ball speed merchant. We're still working out what the difference is, but above average driving distance, well below accuracy, well below putting, well below around the green, and slightly better with approach play. He missed 4 cuts in a row going into the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, TPC, Craig Nelson, James, and he has no top 10. He get 4th at the Century, which it's just now coming across my desk. Did win the 3M last year, but man, this is an absolute.
How was he in this?
Well, that's why it's like this is not. We're talking about a 2-time RBC Canadian Open winner, back to back. Went back to back, 16 and 17. Like you said, Solly also won the 3M, which I don't have to tell you how much that course correlates to this one. And then he won the Bob Hope Classic, which is another comp for this tournament too. Back when it was a sponsorless Bob Hope Classic. The guy's won 4 times on the PGA Tour. He can freaking move it.
I'm here for all the baseball memes that looks umpire shirt a few tournaments ago. I can't remember where that was. Looks like a 30-year scout that it's going to tell you about single A ball. Randy, the Charlotte Mudballs. He's out there scouting the Charlotte Mudballs. I love it.
He's also pro Mudball or pro playing it down. He was
Why-
very
why-
We do
good.
like that.
I-
We do like that.
Let's flesh that out. Why would that be? Why would that be?
Because
I
he
don't
knows
know.
how to
I
hit
mean,
the,
'cause he's a
the
proper
low ball
player.
That's
like
it.
Lanny said. Learn how
Proper.
to hit the lower ball flight that takes the mud off of it as it skids across the grass.
I also don't know if that's actually a thing. I heard Lanny Watkins saying that. That feels like either an outdated skill or not a real one. I don't know if it's worth giving up 40 yards of distance in wet fairways to try to hit a low
Awesome
one.
quote though.
Yeah, but
And
these guys
I'm
still wanna
glad
hit-
Lanny said it.
They just want to rip, 100% irons instead of punching some stuff and keeping it low.
Well, this
you know?
course doesn't invite you to like punch stuff and hit it low. Like it I don't know. It's anyways
That's
why
the
he would
challenge, right?
why he would be
Doesn't
in
invite
favor
it,
of that.
It demands it, Solly. It demands it.
It's because it puts the field in a blender and helps improve his chances of gaining on the best players in the world by adding randomization into it. Is why
I mean, he's
essentially
world
I would
number
not
70.
I would not overly celebrate him wanting to play it up or play it down.
Well, I would love to get Big Randy's thoughts on this issue on the record because we talked about it a lot last night, Randy. Where are you at with the preferred lies yesterday?
No, never.
Hell yeah.
Real golf, Reggie. Hit your ball.
Randy,
Amen.
do you clean your ball when you get on the green?
After I've marked it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
is that? Why do you do that? Why is that?
Well, because
okay
it's
to do?
allowed under the rules of golf.
Right, but if you do preferred lies, like that's allowed. You're allowed to do that as well. Like
Well, it's a special circumstance. It's not like half the time I'm allowed to mark my ball on the putting surface.
I
Like
will say-
Solly, do you wear like a tux when you go to the bar? Like it's like wearing a tux to a wedding, but like it's more formal on the greens.
I guess
Classic.
just finding out that there is a part of the written rule, like the E2 part of the written rule that says you have to replace the ball in the exact spot rather than a club length. And the tour never uses that. I know this isn't a tour event, but the fact that there is a preferred lies rule where you would just replace the ball in the same spot and they don't use that is maddening. Like that, I think the way bigger issue is getting, I said this last night, but you get a club length of relief, especially around the greens, completely is against the spirit of the game versus like, yeah, a clean golf. Should you be able to clean the ball in between holes, Randy, then?
Well, presumably you clean it on the green, so I'm not sure how you're going to muddy it, You're not going to get me here. I preferred lies. We don't need them.
Hey, question for you, Solly. Let's
It's the
say
rub
you're
of the
playing.
green.
Let's say you're playing like a really sharp dogleg left.
Okay.
And the ball doesn't spin enough anymore, as we know. But could you put mud on the right side of the ball on the tee?
Now you're asking good questions.
I got another question along these lines. I've always wondered if you can do, if like the tee markers are set up like really far back on a tee, can you put your ball in the rough if you want to? If like you want to take spin off and like catch a flyer of some kind?
Wow. That's interesting. On a par 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I feel
could
like
have
we
the
need
course,
an
but they have the
official
boards.
rules.
could do a par 4 too if I want to hit a real nuker 4-iron, but I want it to be a flyer out of the rough, like
Real hot.
real hot.
That's a squeezer hot cut.
Hold on. For the record, Solly, are you for like if you hit a fairway and you end up in a divot? Are
Absolutely
you for
fucking
a free
not.
drop? I just
No.
don't understand
No.
really what the difference in spirit is there. With
The
preferred
difference
lies.
in spirit is like that is that is how a ball is lying on the ground, on the surface, on the playing surface, which I believe is like you shouldn't be able to like fluff up your lie, right? I don't believe in that, but like I just don't think mud balls are interesting to watch. I just don't think it makes for a especially exciting tournament. I
You
don't.
see that highlight of Scotty rope hooking into the water. It's the only time anyone hit in the water was
It's like the only thing we have going.
That's like the
chaos.
only time we've seen any type of carnage. That's kind of what I think was sweet. And I understand. I thought Scotty's explanation was very good, but I'm like, great. You spent your whole life learning how to hit the golf ball a specific distance and way. It's like, well, maybe you should put some freaking mud on the ball and prepare for that too. You got time.
Yeah.
You're a pro. Let's make it part of the game.
I think that's an extremely unexciting part of the game. That, in my opinion, you clearly can disagree with that, but I just think it. For one, like Quail, I thought fought back a little bit today. A couple pins that they, particularly 12 and 18, were like quite interesting pins. Like I agree, like on a pretty defenseless golf course of like, yeah, we need to give them something to like. Let's have the ball go knuckle all over the place. Like they actually put some pins in some really challenging spots. We saw John Rahm and Tony Finau aiming completely away from the hole on putts on 12. We saw a ton of double bogeys, I believe.
Finau chipped.
Oh, he
from on the
chipped.
green.
I didn't realize he chipped.
Yeah.
I think there's 21 double bogeys on the 18th hole alone today, 22 double bogeys on 18. There's 24 total doubles on the front nine. And there was, 22 on 18. Like they got after a little bit on the setup. They activated a little bit. Because I thought last year at the President's Cup, or 2022 at the President's Cup, they had some really interesting match play pins at Quail Hollow. Like I felt like we did get a slightly different look from what we get every May. And like round one felt like every Wells Fargo ever. And round two, just a little bit more today, just had a little bit more spice and a little bit more bite to it. So I wanted to I guess casual tip of the cap to Quail and the setup team for today. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that.
Yeah, Kim K got a nice, manicure and
and with this.
No, it's just, I don't know. It's like, that's one of the themes of the week of like, oh man, like this course is so well conditioned. And it's like a dog that's like went to the groomer or something like that. Like, what are we doing? Like, why? Like, I guess the greens were firmer. But again, it was just today. It was like you're seeing shots that just, it should be ripping into the hazards. And they're just getting caught in the miles of thick rough.
I was thinking about it today watching. I think that's the frustrating part for me is the course. You see these overhead shots or you're out there on the grounds. You're like, man, this is so close. Like there's some spots where this would be a fascinating test of golf, like on 14 and on 17 specifically. I keep seeing the overhead shot with the big ass lake and it's very striking, but just get rid of, like, give me a chance for those balls to go in the water. Like there's just no, especially with all that bailout. Like when you look at it overhead, you have so much room, right? It's like, it should be like, yo, if you miss anywhere left of this stick, the ball's going in the water. I don't think that's unfair. That green is huge. And so the fact that it's just basically a setup thing that they just didn't cut the grass down is what I think frustrates me, because I think the course is good. It's not, everyone's like, oh, you guys just shit on Quail Hollow. It's like, no, I think Quail Hollow is a good course. I just think there's some slight tweaks that could make this golf tournament really, really interesting and really challenge these guys.
When a ball is coming in, both from a bad angle, starts out left and is hooking and lands left of the green, still doesn't get in the green side pond, like that's a problem.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with
At
that.
a major.
100%.
Neil, my only concern is if we make this course more penal, like what I'm shocked by how poorly so many quote unquote like good players have been playing. I'm concerned. We might not have any good players if we make it too penal.
Oh, especially on in the American ranks right now. It's not great stuff. That's why I think Max was kind of the story of the day. It's like, oh, it's good to see signs of life from a brand name on, if we're thinking Ryder Cup here. But Randy, everybody stinks. We know that.
Oh,
we'll get to
he doesn't stink.
We'll get to a lot of stinkers. We're gonna still tackle this front of this leaderboard. TC, you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on with our friends at Holderness and Born?
Sully, I would love to. I'm actually wearing, I think I'm wearing the Laidlay in Marlin blue right now. This has become my favorite crew neck. But Holderness and Born, the spring collection is live on hbgolf.com. They got classic striped polos like the Perkins, the Maxwell, the Hunter. Wear those pretty much every day. You've got the
boat one. I don't know what this one is, but
I think that was fall. That was one of my favorite prints from the fall. And then they got understated print polos like the Jarvis, the frame, that's one with the little tour visors on it, the Armfield. They've got Fusion, Deep Teal, Marlin Blue, which is what I'm wearing, Liberty Red, Citrons, like that yellow color. Kind of spice up your wardrobe, sharpen it up in advance of summer vacation, summer golf season. They've got new activewear t-shirts for the gym. Those are aeration technology on some of them as well. Randy, I know you're a huge fan of the performance aeration or aeration.
Micro perforations. Macro comfort.
Best tagline in golf right now.
The Wallace is back. Let's see what else we got. The Dawson pullover. She's got that one in white. That one's really good. The Harwood short. Don't sleep on their belts. And I would say the Ashby vest. If you are a mid-level banker listening to this right now, that thing is for you. I think they crafted that just for that kind of Wall Street or back office demo there. So NLU10 at hbgolf.com for 10% off your first order. I wear it pretty much every day. This and our Trap Draw discount are the only ones on the market for Holderness and Born. Alex and John have built a really, really impressive operation over there, and it just gets a little bit better every single year. So hbgolf.com, hit them up. You will not regret it.
All right, we're going to go down the leaderboard eventually. We're going to do a little, a quick little segment when we get to down the leaderboard as well on just like staying or leaving. These guys going to stick around through Sunday, or will they be departing the scenes? Before we do that, Neil, you had some on-site observations from today. I want you to hit me with your top things you saw with your own two eyes today.
Yeah, really fun day. So we got out there. I mentioned we caught the end of Max's round, and then we most of the day we spent, Cody and I did one of my favorite things on a Friday, Randy. We found a group that's kind of off the radar, and we just embedded with them. So we went down kind of the tee sheet, and we had Phil with no chance of making the cut after a full ejection yesterday.
But then he scrambled and made a bunch of birdies and looked like he was threatening the cut.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We had Jason Day who was fighting it, but, signs of life. And then Tommy, well positioned to make some noise, as always. And I was like, that sounds like an interesting group. We saw a little bit of their golf yesterday. Let's go watch them. So we picked them up on number 2, or I guess 3T, and watched them through the front 9. And it was just delightful. And a few observations. So one of my favorites, Phil had a new putter today from yesterday. So, and a new putting grip. I think he was using the claw yesterday. He had double guns down on the shaft, standard grip. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's like, Randy, I made a point to go see Phil because I knew you'd be on tonight, and I miss watching him play golf. It was so much fun. He had no juice for the first 3 or 4 holes. He was hitting this awful high, like fade slice. He kept missing left, and then he'd just go back and have a deep conversation with his caddy, about, like, I think on 5T, he hit one way left or into the bunker, and he goes to the caddy, "That was a really good swing, though." Just kind of like talking to his caddy about it. And the other thing I noticed about it is like the thumbs up has been replaced with, like, old Phil is hands on the hips. Like the Kings owner, every time I think I had 6 pictures of just Phil. He just stands there with his hands on his hips all day. He's either like, if he's looking at a lie, if he's, standing behind the tee waiting to play, he's just got his hands on his hips. And it's like, he does these things where he's like a cartoon character. It's incredible. And, here, the other story of the day, the blimp was so low all day. And
wow.
Finno, everybody's looking up at the blimp because it's just like this low hum. And if you want to talk about late stage capitalism, they put a LED sign on the blimp, so they can scroll text on it. So I feel like they're flying the blimp lower so that they can show like more statements on the blimp, not just Goodyear. So I don't like it. The blimp was intrusive today. Anyway, I'm getting a little, I'm digressing a little bit.
No way.
7, Phil took it, deep to right field yesterday on 7, made triple. So he hit it left, just over the bunker today, and made birdie there. Makes birdie on 8, made like a 12-footer for birdie on 8. Crowd goes absolutely nuts. He's doing that, off the green. He's just giving people thumbs up everywhere. He's talking to his caddy. They're getting in the zone, goes to 9, makes birdie at 9. And it's like, oh my God, here comes Phil.
He's vibing.
I turned to Cody. I said, he's such a momentum guy. He's just like, oh yeah, I found it, and then we left him. We had to get out of there. And of course, Sully left like 4 in the bunker on 12.
He took 4 to get out of the bunker on 12, which he missed left to the diabolical pin. Like truly one of the best pins you could have at Quail Hollow. Just completely dead there, and he keeps trying to hit this hero bunker shot that barely gets out of the bunker and trickles down to the pin. And we couldn't see the ball, but I'm guessing like he kept rolling back into his same divot, or back into ungroomed sand, because he could not, like one of the best short game players of all time, could not get the ball out of the bunker. Tommy at that point repositioned himself to be able to like watch this, to be able to like look down and see what was happening, and then he blows it over the green and it was actually like pretty lucky to make quad. And then just wiped out the 4 birdies he made in a row in absolutely no time. He played a 6-hole stretch, birdie, 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 par, quad. And that was the end of his tournament.
I think Phil probably was motivated to not lose to any member of the Corbridge financial team. the representatives of the 31,000, and he didn't. He, made a quad today and still shot 72.
I was gonna say he made a couple birdies right after the quad.
The game, he still hits it pretty far. He hits it really high. He wails on the driver. His iron game is so undialed, like just bad iron shots. He's trying to get up and down from anywhere, but then he almost kind of captures lightning in a bottle. But a lot of chatter. It was a kind of a comfy pairing, like the Fleetwood, Jason Day. They're all chatting the caddies. It seemed like they were all having a decent time. Anyway, moving on. TC, Tommy looked awful.
Yeah.
He played great. It was a joy to watch him play golf, but one of the worst
aesthetically he looked awful
I've ever seen. It's just, I don't know what Nike's doing here. Wide stripes.
Like he's wearing one of those things that like a guy that works on like a loading dock wears, like a guy that's like a mover.
Yeah, he's
wears that like
back belt.
supports his back.
It looks like he's got a back belt on. Exactly. It's just, I don't know. I don't like the Nike shoes they put on everybody this week. So that's tough. But Tommy, he wasn't hitting it great, but I think he had 4 straight up and downs when we picked him up, and he was staying pretty locked in. So it was proper golf, and I really enjoyed watching him play, and I wanted to report that back to UTC. And then finally, Jason Day. I want to preface this by saying he shot 34 in the front when we were watching him. I believe he shot 41 on the back. He shot +6. He will be going home. He did not make the cut. And he was fighting it. He was fighting the left miss a little bit. However, I came to the realization that I really enjoy his golf game. I don't like watching him play golf, but it's such proper game. And the way his pre-shot routine, he closes his eyes. He's so deliberate, but like you almost get in a trance. Being out there with him for 8 holes. If I closed my eyes and visualized every shot, I think I'd be a scratch golfer. I'd be a lot better than I am. And I came to appreciate that Jason Day. He's like dedicated to his craft. He never changes that. You know what I mean? He doesn't skip any steps in his routine. And it's like, it's not fun to watch, but I almost appreciate him. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He's going to do that. His short game is so tidy. His bunker play is awesome. He looked great. Looks awesome in a visor. Got a shout out. He had like a button down on today, which I thought was stupid, but the visor looked good. So anyway, I used to love Jason Day like 10 years ago when we first started doing this. And TC, I kind of wish he didn't hate us, that we didn't say they had like Munchausen syndrome or whatever it was, like, all that stuff and like the,
DJ said that.
because I think he's just like a really good golfer, and I just wanted to put that on the record. So anyway, those were my takeaways from those 3. I have one more story for you guys, but any comments on my Jason Day stuff?
Just the stories of his, like, what his practice sessions look like in terms of he does not stand there and just beat balls. Like, he takes, like, it does an entire pre-shot to before he just won't throw like a bucket of balls down to chip. Like, he treats every shot.
So impatient as a human that I almost appreciate how patient he is, like so methodical. It's like, man, I don't have that in me. And so when I see somebody else that can do that, I just wanted to like shout out that I appreciate it. Now it's a little grating as a golf fan, but it's like, yeah, man, I bet it would be better for your golf game if you just locked in on every single shot on the course, like all day.
I thought this is disappointing, Neil, because I thought when we went and saw Pia and Lynn in Arizona a couple years ago, I thought we had developed the pre-shot
box, the play box.
Yeah, I thought we were committing to that.
But that's kind of what I'm telling you is like I want to commit to it. I desperately want to be that guy, but it's so hard. You have to be so disciplined. It's just simple, not easy stuff, Randy. Like to stay that locked in. Even when like he's hitting it offline, he's in the crowd, he's still doing it. Like nothing rushes him. And
except for when he wants to fast walk when one of his competitors is playing in the group. Like he kind of messes with the pace a little bit. Like he knows how to push the pace when he needs to as well.
One fun little nugget for you. We're walking down 9 to 9 fairway from the tee box, and Finno, Fleetwood's caddy, looks over at Cody and I. He shows us like 2 bags of. We can't really see what he's holding up. Obviously can't understand him, and he's like shaking these 2 bags, and it's like Phil's energy gummies. He's like, they're Phil's. He like, I guess he did a deal with Finno out on the course, and it's like, Cool, man. You know, it was one of those moments where it's like, I guess Phil's just out there, you know, handing out
Hawking
coffee for
product.
wellness energy gummies.
Did he
anyway,
give me any equity?
Fun day though. It's fun to watch three guys that are not going to win the tournament, but hey, you know, that's like the true professional golf that you don't see on TV. Of like, can you stay locked in? Can you make the cut to, you know, and then make some noise on the weekend? Tommy shot 1 under. I think he's T28 right now.
T27 now.
The other two ejected.
Okay.
Ejected pretty hard. All right, guys, main event. I got to get to it. So Cody and I, after we saw Max play, we were hanging out at the High Noon Clubhouse. It's to the right, about halfway down 10 fairway. We're just minding our business, having a good time. And all of a sudden, a ball comes in, bounces over the cart path, and ends up on a storm drain right next to the High Noon Clubhouse. So we're like, oh, this is great. We don't know who it is. You know, fans start crowding around the ball. One of my favorite things in golf is that they play out of the crowd. No other sport do they play from the stands like this. So it's very clear. Nearest point of relief is right of the cart path, which will be in between, if you're looking at the screen now, in between the High Noon sign there and or towards the High Noon sign on the right of the tree. And it's like, oh, that's because it's
what an activation.
What an activation. TIO times High Noon. So it's Davis Thompson. He walks up and he sets down his tees on the right side of the cart path. I'm like, all right, cool, we're good. But I'm like, that sucks. He's right behind this tree. And I'm like, man, I wonder if he's gonna. I wonder if something weird's going to happen here. Sure enough, he walks up to take a look, you know, walks up like 20 yards, comes back, picks up his tees, goes to the other side of the cart path, left side of the cart path if you're looking at the screen. Hits a punch out. If you're looking here, like 40, I don't want to say, let's say 20 feet, like on the left side of the screen. That's the window he goes through. Hits a great shot, like a cutting punch shot, gets back into the fairway after he dropped it like 2 feet off the left side of the cart path. So I saw the rules official that gave him the ruling, and I went up to him after, and I said, excuse me, I just want to clarify, the nearest point of relief was on the right side.
Officer, excuse me.
He said if he was taking relief from the cart path, yes. I was like, so was this a TIO ruling? He said, yes, it was. I said, what was the TIO? Was there what was in the way? He said the restroom sign. He didn't even say the High Noon sign right there on the right. He said the restroom sign, which is another 40 fucking yards up. And he would have to hit it over the hospitality like decks. Like he would never have done that. And he went through a window that was 30 yards left of that. And I was like, but he didn't hit it that direction. He's like, well, it doesn't matter. He could have. And I was like, okay, I just don't think, you know, the guy, he was like, he didn't really like me question his ruling. And I was like, and I said to him, I said, no,
sir.
I said, we need to reform TIO.
Badge numbers,
sure. Basically, Randy, he was like, why don't you call your congressman? And I was like, I can't believe that's just doesn't feel like you just gave me an out of jail free card. You know, like if I'm playing out there as an amateur, I'm dropping to the right of the cart path and I'm stuck behind a pine tree, you know, and I'm going to have to punch out like sideways. And so I just wrecked my day, man.
You should have gone up and offered to remove the sign, just like Bryson.
That was what I was saying.
Bryson at Augusta. Yeah.
Very movable sign, if you ask me.
That the High Noon logo, he said it was the restroom sign, but the High Noon logo was the TIO. I was like, now I'm stuck between a sponsor and a hard pick. This is tough. You know, do I bring this up on the High Noon live show? I don't know, but I'm a principled man, and here I am.
Alex Laren in the comments, sir, I'm recording you for my own safety.
Yeah. No, I'm allowed to record. I'm allowed to record, sir. I'm sorry. I'm just.
I know my rights.
I'm just looking for
public property.
Yeah. Am I being detained? It was just, but it was like so. What I didn't like about it was just so ho hum. Like he came back, picked up his tees from the right side of the cart path and right over to the left side. And it's like, come on, man. We just like get out of jail free immediately. It's gross, man. I don't like the TIO stuff. I really don't. There just needs to be a little bit more of a punishment for hitting it 40 yards right of the fairway. I don't like it.
Thank you, Neil, for those on the ground reports. Thank you.
Solly, any rebuttal? You continue to stand for TIO.
I don't. I whatever. I'm done fighting.
Solly hates the.
I'm ready to talk about the leaderboard and not what happened to Davis Thompson today.
TIO.
That's
a good one. I'm
gonna claim. All right, we're gonna play a little game before we get down the leaderboard. Obviously, there's a lot of names inside the top 7 because there's like 10 guys tied for 7th.
Mhm.
This can mean whatever you want, honestly. I don't know if we need to put a judgment on this. I don't know if it means top 10 or if it means top 5 or whatever it's going to be, but I'm just going to ask everyone for all these names inside the top 16 or really inside the top 7, ask them if they're staying or if they're leaving, if they're going to be around through Sunday or if they're going to be exiting the premises. And we'll start right at the top. Jonathan Vegas, is he sticking around? Is he going to be around? I'm not saying is he going to win. Is he going to be around?
He's going to be around. I'm saying absolutely. I think he's a veteran. He's experienced. I think he's sticking around, Randy.
I'm shocked he's only 40 years old. I would have lost that bet. I would have taken over 45. I also want to say about Jonathan Vegas, it was bugging me all day who I think he looks like. I think it's Eduardo Perez, Tony Perez's son, the little doggy.
Exactly right.
I in no way believe Jonathan Vegas he's going. He's out. He's going to be out by the end of the day tomorrow.
Here's the deal. In the 16 measured seasons he's had on the PGA Tour, he's been a positive strokes gained putter 2 times in his entire career. He's not a good putter, and I just don't see it lasting either. I think he is going to be leaving as well. TC?
I think he sticks around tomorrow. I think he leaves on Sunday. I think he takes the early flight home on Sunday.
Based on his 3M performance, he's a horse for the course, right, TC?
But yeah, I mean, 3M, 68, 66, 63 on Saturday, and then finish with a 70. So we'll see.
Matthieu Pavon shot a 65 today. He is tied for 2nd. Staying or going? Randy?
Oh, God. It just doesn't feel like he should be sticking around a major. So I'm going to say he's going. He's gone.
I'm saying he's sticking around. He's 8th off the tee. He's not hitting his irons particularly well. He's putting well, though. This guy won at Torrey Pines, another comp for this golf course.
Just based on recency bias, haven't seen his name in a while. Get him out of here, Randy.
Yeah, I wanted to be tempted by the U.S. Open, from last year, but no, I'm not seeing it for Mr. Pavon. He is not.
He's 157. He's 156 in the FedEx Cup this year.
He has no top 10s dating in his last 25 starts, at least. His last top 10 was the U.S. Open last year at Pinehurst. So we'll see.
I don't understand. Sorry, keep going. I'll never understand how a major. How are these guys first and tied for 2nd? Like so many names that have been playing well, should be playing well.
Mudballs, Randy.
Mudballs.
Here's
Hey, everybody stinks. This golf course might stink.
Yeah,
It's just a PGA Tour event.
it is. It just feels like a random week.
You know what's really random when you get some mud on your ball. You don't know where that ball is going to be in and
I
out.
hate that I walked into that because I do love the mud balls.
Matt Fitzpatrick, sign of life, back-to-back 68 sitting there at T2. I'm gonna say staying. He's got major championship pedigree. He's won one. I think some of these we've seen some of these guys just capture it, lightning in a bottle for a week. I'm saying sticking around.
He's not driving well.
I would say I don't think he's going backwards, Solly. Like I feel like there might be some the first 2 guys you mentioned or Pavon at least. It's like there could be a big round out there for him. I feel like Fitzpatrick knows how to keep it around even par though.
Big.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I'll say he sticks around. U.S. Open winner. It's nice to see him in contention again. I will say that.
I don't think he's going anywhere, but I also don't think he's just got to hang out in the corner. Him and Aaron Rye can just go hang out in the corner.
Solly, what's he been struggling? What happened to Fitzpatrick? Is it just squirrely off the tee? Did he chase too much speed? Is he a speed freak?
The putt. I mean, the speed. He got the speed, and it paid off, and he won a major. So I'd be.
I know, but did it hold up? I guess is my question, because he kind of disappeared after not after a little major, but the last 6 to 9 months. It's been pretty tough.
He had some health stuff come up, I believe, and the driving distance, it was 7 yards over average the year that he won the major. It dipped all the way back to average as of last year, and then now he's about 3 yards better than average, so still not as fast as he was in 22. But also, like, if you're not gaining speed, you're not keeping up because everybody's gaining speed out there. So his approach play taking a dip, and his putting especially. He was always such a really good putter, and he's just kind of turned into an average putter. So But I think you can find it for a week and keep sticking around. All right, moving a little faster through some of these. Siwoo Kim, T2, ace the 6th hole today. It was fucking electric. It's the longest ace in PGA, and I think in major championship history, 250 plus yards. Neil, a second hit for your hole-in-one bet this year or this week. I'm saying Siwoo's sticking around. Had a great showing at the President's Cup here. I like his chances this weekend.
He just arrived, right? He shot 72 in the first round. He just got here. He's not looking to leave. He was number 1 in putting today. And then he's number 3 overall for the week and not driving it particularly well. So I think Siwoo, I'm betting on him. He's kind of a big game hunter a little bit.
Yeah, I think
take him away. I'm out.
Around it. Wow.
I think if you're number 1 in putting
the top 10.
and the hole, hole-in-one's kind of helping us. That's doing some heavy lifting.
Damn. You guys are throwing my sustainability models right at me, and now I'm regretting my answer.
Number 1 in putting and a hole-in-one. Come on. Like, that's a lot of lightning in a bottle to hold on to.
It's always impressive when somebody makes an ace and then birdies the next hole.
True. Finished with 30 on that back 9. It was like mega quiet out there on that front 9 to close out his day. There was nobody around for his ace, and it's a different environment he's going to be playing this weekend.
Sorry, I know he's one of Players, which is a big event, but has never top 10 in a major. I'm gonna switch sides, and Neil, he's out. I know he just got here, but he's leaving.
What?
Yeah.
Who's talking? Identify yourself. Get out of here.
I'm gonna toss him too on further review. You guys got
hell yeah, let's go. Siwoo
doubling down.
GTFO. Sorry, bud.
And guys, I have to use this moment to apologize. There was a wide open opportunity for a transition, and I completely whiffed.
But Matt,
I
said the same thing to myself. I was like, God, that'd be a great time for a stack read.
I'm so upset. It was 0-2 count, and I was looking for the breaking ball, and somebody just threw an 88-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle, and I let it go right by. And that's to talk about the stack. Matthew Fitzpatrick, a stacker, converted. It turned into a major champion by going through the stack system. It's a very simple system. TC still got it in the box. You can see he's got a lot of use out of that one. I got home today, and I was like, I got to do something functional. Did it in the backyard. It's awesome. It leaves you like with an energy boost for the rest of the day. It takes maybe 15-minute warm-up and then about 15 to 20 minutes of swings. It tells you exactly what weights to swing. It tells you exactly how long to rest. It tracks all your data, tracks all your information. You don't have to do any thinking. It tells you when you should work out, and it is a proven way to add speed to your swing. They got all kinds of other features as well, all kinds of videos and stuff in there that'll help you find ways to activate more speed. They got stack wedges is on its way. There's a stack putting system as well. It's a whole program designed to help you get better at golf in a lot of ways, not just become a speed freak, ball speed Burgett, ball speed imposter, whatever that may be. I'm coming back for speed.
If you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's going to help you hit the ball farther, and it'll help you cruise at a better speed. This is what my main goal is. So you can go to the stacksystem.com/NLU, use code NOLAYINGUP with any purchase for 10% off. Also for parents out there who have kids that are into baseball, check out the Stack Baseball. There's also a great program there to help your kids increase swing speed, which is a very, very valuable tool as well in baseball. So,
or if you're a dad and you're in the wood bat leagues, Randy, looking for a little bat speed on the weekends, come on, hit the cages, get some pop, leave the yard. Why not?
Solly, kind of an adjacent question: is WAR and strokes gained essentially the same thing?
It is an interesting question. WAR is a cumulative stat, and strokes gain is a rate stat. So I would not quite say the data golf points system might be more of what you're looking for in WAR, which I think like the data golf points thing. And I know a lot of people just as soon as they hear data golf, like turn their ears off. It's like one of the best measurements and hybrids of all of the stat talk you could possibly imagine. It's like results. It's your results, and it puts a weighting on the fields that you're playing against, the level of is it a major? Is it a blah, blah, blah? And it measures you up against other players. It's a really, really, really telling stat that I think I want to become more mainstream because it is like basically career WAR for golfers. So anyways,
exciting stuff.
T5, Max Homa, staying or leaving?
I think he's staying, man.
God, I hope he stays.
He's driving the piss out of it. It's putting well. Putter looks awesome.
My
Good
guy's
stay.
been battling.
I mean, obviously we all want him to stay.
I believe it though.
But
He's
Course
one on this golf
history
course.
here.
Yeah, exactly. Good course history. But yeah, I turned to Cody on 9. I was like, yeah, the problem's been, can he string 2 or 3 or 4 of these rounds together? And maybe he got the bad one out of the way already. You know, he didn't have a great day yesterday. So that I would hope that bodes well for the weekend.
His hair looks great. He's got
Does.
this flow. Crazy good flow right now.
And credit to him, man. Again, you know, we've talked to him a bunch about this, and he's been adamant about like how good he's hitting at home, how hard he's working, and how like regardless of the results, how in control he feels about his game. And like to show up at it's kind of invert his career and show up at the majors this year and not show up in other tour events when that was kind of the knock against him for so long. It's just an interesting development. So I think he's sticking around.
Also, maybe a commentary on this major too.
In theory. We probably make this one quick. Tied for 5th as well. Scotty Scheffler. I believe that he and Max will be paired together tomorrow. Shot 69-68. I'm gonna go ahead and say
Scotty's had his D+ game, C- game. Like if he plays his B game, he's gonna win by 5.
I'm just gonna say he's gonna stick around. I'm gonna
No,
go
he's
out.
outta here.
I'm gonna
Get
giraffe
rid
that
of him.
one.
Randy, get rid of him.
Get him out of here.
You won't do it.
No, definitely.
So he hasn't putted great. He's hitting the crap out of I guess he's scrambling, you know, he's scrambling pretty good, and he's hitting
Kind
the
of
ball
mid off the tee.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, listen, he's
Doesn't
gonna
go
be
well for
around.
my Scotty's not gonna win play on Wednesday. Hate
All right,
that.
we have a big group at T7. Is a one word staying or leaving. You can't explain it. All right. Michael Thorbjornsen, TC.
Staying.
Neil, we'll go this way. We'll go clockwise around.
I'll stay.
What? No, he's gonna be way out of here.
One word, Randy. That was
Great
the rule.
driver of the
I
golf ball.
appreciate that. I'm gonna say staying. Christian Bezadenhout.
Leaving.
Get him out of here.
Staying, my guy
Staying.
Bez.
Staying.
Yeah.
President's Cup. Foxy.
Staying. Possibly winning.
It seems like he has form. Staying.
Supreme ball striker staying.
Hate him. Leaving. Alex Smalley.
Staying. Smalley's absolutely flushing it right now, and I think his mom's going to get his headspace in a really, really good spot tonight.
TC, I'm gonna ride with you again. I'll stay.
Smalley's really good. Yeah.
Leaving. No room for unaccompanied guests. You're out of here.
I'm gonna say staying. JT Poston, the postman. He made. Just want to shout out. He made a 3 on 17 today after hitting it in the water and hold out from the drop area.
How many hole outs have there been? Like this has to
So
be like
many.
our guy Randy Robles with the Elias Sports Bureau's got to give us.
Oh, he might be the MVP of the week. I was kind of like, man, this guy's beating up my inbox, but now he just all of it's fire. It's like they're good stats, man. Shout out to
This
Randy.
is like this is the statistician that the PGA of America has brought on. He was at the Solheim too, I think previously.
Yeah, he was.
I'm saying staying. This is a home game for him. He's the people's champion in North Carolina.
I don't want to say leading. I just want to say fading. I think he's gonna fade.
I think staying.
Stay. I think
Second putting.
hovering is where I'd be. I think he's just going to be right around. You know, not leaving or staying. That's a cop out. Big shot, Bob. We got to go faster.
Oh, I think Big Shot Bob's leaving.
Yeah, he's out of here.
Get him out of here.
I'm say staying. Sam Stevens.
No idea.
No thanks. Take him away.
Got to default to leaving. Get him out.
I'm gonna say leaving. Denny McCarthy.
TBD. Depends on how the FBI investigation's going.
They released the files.
Yeah, he's staying, man. He's staying right on that grassy knoll.
Yeah, uncompetitive staying, non-competitive.
For history's sake, he was most definitely not on the grassy knoll. We
I
that
know.
part.
I'm mixing. I won't beat around the horse anymore. You're right.
I think he's staying. Ryan Gerard.
Staying. One of the hottest, maybe the hottest player in the world right now.
I'm gonna fade him. He's leaving.
Yeah, I'm fading him. That opening 66, as good as it gets.
You're gone, coach. Garrick Higo.
I'm gonna say
Ugh.
staying. I'm getting a little worn out with the let's celebrate the flow. And, you know, I guess now he's with Malvin, so he's got. I'm seeing a lot of style posts about him, but I think he's going to stick around. He's playing good golf.
I'll say stay. His chipping concerns me a little bit, though.
Yeah, God, probably I'm gonna default to leaving.
Randy, everybody's leaving in Randy's eyes. I'm ringing him. He's gone. All right, TC, you want to go any farther down the leaderboard? We got to get some missed cuts, guys, here, because there's a lot on that list. I don't know if you want to, which one you want to prioritize there.
Yeah, Solly, I think, I'll call out a few guys here. I think the group at T17 is actually really interesting. You've got JJ Spawn trying to get his ass on the Ryder Cup team. Kind of 68 today. Aaron Rye, 72. We'll get to some of his exploits coming down the stretch from today.
You can just get to it right now. He just
let's just do it right now.
Hossled one off almost into a spectator's face, but it hit a tree on 16 from the right rough. That was sick.
Yeah. He also does it. He takes one of his gloves off to hit bunker shots, that's kind of sociopathic behavior.
He's so dialed, though. He probably has a really good reason for it.
Yeah. Guys, as expected, Taylor Pendrith is he's T17. He shot 69-70. Just kind of impostoring his way around. He's 5th in strokes gained off the tee this week. So next up, we got Bryson and Blandy, the 2 low live guys.
The only 2 live guys in the top 25, Bryson and Blandy.
I cannot tell you guys how
Bryson's round today. Your pick to win. Any care to comment?
Yeah, it was like a little. Bryson might be the modern day Bowie. I don't think Rahm's the Bowie anymore. It might just be Bryson. It just kind of looked like a pretty standard. He's still just not hitting his irons very well, and he's driving the piss out of it. Has short irons into all the mid irons into all the par 5s, short irons into all the par 4s, and he hasn't putted that great. And it just feels like, I don't know. It does feel like his par for the course is different than everybody else, and he feels like he's even par. I mean, I know he's at 3 under. He's 5 back of Vegas, 3 back of second place, which is kind of more of where I would refer the lead to be. There's just a lot of traffic he's got to get around. He's going to have one really good day. He's going to have to shoot a 65 one of these 2 days. I don't love where he's sitting right now or how he's playing, but his game is an absolute force, and it's hasn't been great to watch the last couple of days, but just like all the names we're going to get to of everybody that just did not bring their C game and make the weekend, Bryson's kind of stands out.
You said Bryson's got his own par for the course. I think Blandy's par for this course should be about 74, given the course fit. He's averaging 276 yards off the tee this week, and he's currently -3. So the guy is a magician with his wedges, and I think people forget he's like 52 or 53 years old. It's crazy.
Did not have this one on my sheet this week, TC.
And same with Poston too. Like, this doesn't fit him at all, and yet here he is. So who else we got? Big Tone's kind of lurking there. Norin, Hitsatsune, Ben Griffin. Ben Griffin's having a really good year. He's 26th in the FedEx Cup, I think. Cam Davis had kind of a stinker today. 74 went way backwards. He's tied with Adam Scott.
I see what you did there.
That wasn't even conscious. That was no pun intended, but it was good fun. Joe Highsmith shot 67 today. He's T27 with Victor, Tommy, Rom, El playing Capitan, Keegan. And then after that, Wako Neiman played pretty good today. 67. You want to issue an apology, Sally?
Absolutely fucking not. We're supposed to fluff Neiman over being T36 at the halfway point.
What are we doing?
Fuck out of here.
Thank you.
Get out of here.
What are we doing?
You want to talk any Hatton?
Yeah, Hatton called someone or his driver, the club, the driver, a C word today, which I know is much
CLT.
more common parlance, over in his part of the world than it is in this part of the world. But he said, "Fuck you." C word at his driver, which was very on brand for Hatton.
Tuesday.
He made a triple on 18, which was fantastic to watch, just kind of unfold. And yeah, I've been out on Hatton way before the live days, so I'm just very good here. I feel like he should have won this tournament. Like, this would have been a really.
I was calling that out last night. I was concerned about him. I felt like
you were
something to monitor. We're taking the DEFCON level down though.
Yep.
I feel like Rafa Campos just kind of evaporated right out of plain sight. He's now T36, shot 73. He made a double yesterday on 18, or he had that bad 3-putt, and then he kind of just limped in at the end of round 1. Or no, 18. He had the 3-putt on 17 and birdied 18. But yeah, I just feel like he's been more in the mix than being T36. Harry Hall went backwards. Luke Donald, 74, made the cut. I think that's a win for him.
Absolutely. That's fantastic golf. I'm not making fun, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Brendan Quinn had a really, really good piece on his caddy and kind of his battle back from addiction and substance abuse. I would recommend seeking that one out. Harry Hall went backwards today. Morikawa, just 72 +1. Really don't like his body language and just everything he seems to be about right now. What else we got? Cameron Young, DB. These guys all made the cut. Jaeger, 75 today. Speed, speed. You gotta kind of use the speed wisely, and had a bad his first 9 today, but the back 9 he shot 41 on the back 9. So other than that,
did we have any of the 31,000 make the cut?
Neil, we did not have any of the 31,000 finish better than +9 in this tournament. Just tough scene for the Corbridge Financial team. Tyler Collette, John Summers both finished at +9. They were the 2 tied for the low club pro. Otherwise, Bob Sowers +10. Good performance from
Tom
him.
Johnson, the pro out at I think Meadow Club, but he used to be at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, and he's done a lot with the first tee. I think he shot 74 yesterday. I think he
78 today.
78. So, but shout out to him. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Mr. Tom Johnson.
Yeah. Wish one of the first responders of golf would have played well and made the cut, but here we are. Kind of a tough setup for those guys.
Shout out to Pastor Don.
Yeah. So, Solly, let's go through some notables to miss the cut.
Well, we have a couple at the very bottom made the cut. Rory and Xander make it on the number. So
we haven't talked about Rory's driver yet.
Yeah,
we should probably talk about that.
Rory's. We found out it was reported today that Rory's driver was deemed unconforming on Tuesday, which would make this Thursday make a little bit more sense for how off the planet he's driven it. Really, for I assume 2 days, but I don't know what the exact numbers came out. Yeah, he's at 10 fairways in 2 rounds out here. His 27th in strokes gained off the tee. He had a non-conforming driver as of Tuesday. So,
guys, I got a couple questions for you. A, why are we just finding out about this?
We didn't speak to media yesterday.
Yeah, but even like that should just be disclosed. I think if we're gonna, like, Brendan Porath had a great there. He said, hey, if we're gonna make this into like an equitable market, that sort of thing should be disclosed.
If they're doing the thing on the first tee, what's the ball? What do they call the
Darrell survey?
The Darrell survey, like that. Shouldn't that should just come out with the Darrell survey? Shouldn't it?
It's probably this. I mean, it's probably using the same model, same shaft.
Yeah, okay, good point.
So
I bet that's part of the reason he was so pissed last night. Guys, does this call his win at Augusta into question?
I'm going to say no, TC.
I don't think so, TC.
I don't know do we know if they tested that week or not?
Well, it's always random. So I guess he got randomly selected over the limit under arrest. I think, like, I know Titleist tests preemptively. So the fact that his driver would even be allowed to fail is sort of a bad look.
So for those that don't know how some of this works, is over a certain amount of hits. I hope I get this right as I'm trying to explain it, but like your face can thin out a little bit, and it can lead to too much spring effect (COR) in the face of the driver.
And face collapse too.
We haven't gotten a face collapse just yet, but so it can lead to it thinning out, and in theory, with the higher COR or lower COR, whatever, help it launch it more and hit it farther. And he obviously had found a driver that he really, really liked, and these guys are super particular about their drivers, even if you get fit into the whatever, same shaft, same head, whatever, like it just sometimes mentally, sometimes actually physically, it's just not the same. So over time, with a lot of driver strikes, it can get really, really thin. All these brands operate really, really close to the limit as it comes to on the COR. Similar thing happened to Xander at the 2018 Open Championship, and as well, I think 4 other players as well at Carnoustie, if I remember right. But yeah, that's kind of how it can happen. It's not as if Rory was trying to sneak this by or
No, he's
using
corking his
illegal
bat,
driver.
Randy,
Yeah.
get him out of
He
here.
didn't have. Well, yeah, I'm shocked we didn't see super balls come bouncing out of it.
I mean,
Guy
he might have
Chris
he might have
Sabo.
corked the hospitality tent on 18 too. I think
God, that was probably the
spring
shot
like
of the day.
effect. No, I think also, yeah, I mean, some of that TaylorMade driver is kind of known for being exceptionally up to the line as well. With face collapse is kind of an issue with that one. I do think I'm kind of surprised that the PGA of America lets them test this week with how player friendly they are.
I know. It's a good point.
So I don't know. It's just an interesting wrinkle in this championship.
Him and Xander both get in on the number at +1. Kind of passed the test on getting scrutinized for missing the cut and having some early tee times for this weekend. But big missed opportunity for Rory, as we said in the preview and last night. Not really showing up for this one, unfortunately. So I just don't know how you can play 41 majors and win one, get one, and almost like admittedly relax. I know he's trying to say I'm freed up, but like, how you don't recognize how freaking hard these things are to win. And granted, just public statements, but just come out and say like, no, having everything I've been through, I recognize how hard this is to win. I'm hungry to continue winning them. But I'm not going to assume that they're going to all of a sudden keep the floodgates are opening just because I won the Masters. Feels like a better place to live more than like, yeah, I'm freed up now. I'm totally freed up because it didn't look freed up the last 2 days. Can we get some miscuts?
Too freed up.
Please.
Stinky Jord at +2. You guys stop me whenever you want to slow down on a certain player, but had a good round.
Is he relevant? Like truly? I know we've
Not
kind of
at this
danced
course,
around
but
this.
yes,
You need to
overall.
answer that, Randy. He's your guy.
I don't think he is, and that's what hurts me. I truly don't think he's a relevant player in like when we talk about the best in the world.
Is he? Are you ready to declare him dead?
Yeah, like you guys tell me. Like I feel like he's been dead almost. I really am. It makes me upset. It makes me upset that we're here with him.
He's odds on for the Ryder Cup, though, right, Solly?
I still think he's going to be on the Ryder Cup team. Do you not think he's going to be on the team?
I just don't think it's odds on. I don't think, and I understand what odds on.
You don't think he's going to be on?
Less likely than likely that he's on the Ryder. I don't think he deserves to be on the Ryder Cup team right now. Now, the only thing holding me back from that is everybody else stinks too.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point.
But that's just bullshit. I mean, he didn't. I don't know. Anyway, I don't.
Meanwhile, Keegan doesn't stink. Shouldn't Keegan be on the Ryder Cup team?
Keegan should be on the Ryder Cup team. Yes, and I've been on the record with that for 3 months. I think he should pick himself. Anyway, what do you think?
Just for the record, Jordan Spieth's played better golf than Keegan Bradley has this year. So you can't. I don't know how you marry those two statements. I don't know how you do that. Like,
it's not an either or. And Jordan's going to get on. I think he needs to get on steroids.
I don't know how to react when you do that.
Use the driver.
I just don't.
I'm ready for anything. He just is. Yeah, it's just not good.
It's not fun, Randy.
It's not fun. That's the perfect way to put it.
It's just
Solly, do you think it's Spieth or Maverick McNeely? If you had to choose between those two guys,
Spieth. I would. I still like. So, this bums me out to say, Randy, in that I did not like him on this golf course. That's not a bailout. That's a problem, right? There's like too many golf courses where I would quickly dismiss Spieth, right? And Oakmont might also be one of them. Like as I go to think of it,
wouldn't Bethpage be one of them too?
Potentially, it kind of depends on how they set that up.
That's when you come to the Keegan Spieth conversation. I'm like, I feel like Keegan's a better fit for Bethpage. And now I know they might shorten it up, but if he's the captain, he should set it up for himself. He's got control over that.
I mean, Solly, what do Mav's numbers look like against Spieth over the last, say, this season, 5 months?
I can give you over the last 6 months on this short of notice, if you will allow me. Over the last 6 months, Jordan Spieth plus 1.27, Mav plus 1.11.
Okay.
So close.
Mav made the cut this week too. So.
Correct. Yeah, we'll have plenty of time to dissect George. JT, pretty darn great opportunity coming off and playing some excellent golf on a course he won a major. He will not be around
for the weekend. Randy.
That one hurts.
He continues to be whatever I think of Jordan like it's gonna be the opposite. Every time I like get hyped on him, he spits the bit, and every time I'm ready to just forget about him for good, he shows up and does something. The variability is concerning. It's too variable. I'm not sure how after this many years on tour we can't scrape it around better.
Still,
JT reminds me of like
record.
a Lincoln Riley USC team that like all the talent in the world, has like the first round pick at quarterback and just can't put together like a 10-win season. You know, like, hey, like it just goes like 8-4 and loses to Utah at home, and then gets run out at like Arizona.
I think we would call that for the USC team, Tron. Like it's boils down to a bit of a lack of like toughness. And I'm not, I don't know how that translates to golf, but I do think it's like JT's just got to get the ball in the hole a little bit better when like he doesn't have his best stuff, maybe, or just like avoid the big ass mistakes. I just
bad
don't.
Thursday, Friday major championship golf is just what has really crushed him, man. It's been really tough. So, Hideki ends the longest running major streak, made 19 cuts in a row, was seen on the range doing Bryson swings without his hat on, which I don't really know what that was about. I'm really giving this really, really, really high top billing, only throwing this one name in there because it was hyped by someone on this, Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, MC.
I didn't say this week. I just said generally speaking.
Okay. Just
our guy Soren Amstrup from the golf podcast over in Denmark. 5 Danes in the field. I got the whole scouting report from him this week, and he's bullish on him.
TC passing the buck. How about that? No, this is Soren's fault. That's not my fault.
Jay Day missing the cut. Shane Lowry. This one's tough, guys. I don't know if you guys saw the highlights on this one. Shane missed the cut by 1. He drove it into somebody else's pitch mark on 8. Was not granted relief. Berated a rules official, chunked it out of there, said, fuck this place, would go on to bogey the hole and then miss the cut by 1. He was not pleased. He threw some middle fingers up at the ball.
Didn't this happen to Kuchar a few years back?
Yeah, at Memorial. I remember that happening.
Destroying the golf course.
Where are you guys at on that one? If your ball embeds in somebody else's ball mark, give him relief for that, Randy?
I presume it wasn't on the fly, right? It bounced in there.
It bounced into somebody else's, yeah.
It's so sick.
I think that's tough shit. Like, truly, we have to leave space for rub of the green in the game of golf.
Yeah,
that is a mega rub of the
green. We were so pro this happening to Kuchar a few years back, and like, hey, he's not going to get away with this, and he was trying to do all sorts of funny business. And no, like, I think Lowry should get a lot more shit for some of his behavior on the golf course, where Hatton just gets painted with this scarlet letter. And Lowry's very similar.
Earned that scarlet letter.
I was going to say those two
very clear. It's not like it's being unfairly dished out.
Maybe he deserves that, but also I'm just saying I think Lowry deserves to be talked of in that same breath.
I would vehemently disagree with that. I think Hatton truly has no grace. Like, there's no redeeming qualities in any of his on course behavior. Whereas I feel like Lowry just wears his emotions on his sleeve in a much more endearing way, like makes himself like pretty vulnerable out there, and gets upset, but it's like usually like in a much funnier self-deprecating way than it is.
The only pushback, I agree with all of that, except for it's not so much the self-deprecating stuff. There's a couple.
It's pretty
caught on camera where he's like mean to a volunteer, or he parades a rules official, and I don't like that. It's like, yo, man, don't take it out on that guy. Like, he's giving you his honest ruling. Like, don't call him an asshole. I think sometimes he takes it out on the staff a little bit, and it's like, it's like being mean to a waiter. It's like, come on, dude. Like, that's not what we're doing here.
I agree with that. Speaking of being mean to the staff, Patrick Reed missing the cut. He shot 70.
That's a low blow, right?
Come on,
Patrick's delightful to the staff. It's some family members that are shitty to the staff.
Not his staff of his Ryder Cup team. Anyways, Patrick Cantlay also.
Cantlay stinky in there, Randy.
Yeah, this one had me pissed off. Like, Pat.
Randy, I don't think you need. Like, I think he doesn't even. is not even owed a rant on that. Like, I think it's
No.
just move right past it. I think it's not worth the airwave time. On
No,
Cantlay
Randy
in a major.
Gibson, you got a rant? I'd love
No.
one.
We just, this guy's supposed to be one of the best American players. He's got 8 PGA Tour wins. A week like this, you can't show up and make a cut. Like, dude, are we ever going to win a major? You're 33 years old. Like, really? What have you done, really? It just, this guy, this is one of the 4 biggest weeks of the year for you, and you show up and go 74, like a total no-show. I'm just sick of Patrick Cantlay. I'm sick of like, is this guy good? No, he's not fucking good. And he's irrelevant. He's irrelevant until he actually does something.
And his putter is obnoxiously short, and it always bothers me. It looks like he's playing with like Freddie's putter, TC. Check me on that next time you see him play.
Who was that? Robert Garrigus?
Yeah, it's just this tiny ass putter, and he keeps patting his feet. Patting his feet.
Putter.
It's a dolphin putter.
Guys, this
I
one.
think Cantlay, hold on. Cantlay real quick too. Like, he's played well on Foz courses before. He likes overseeded rye. And both of those things have weren't here. Also, going back to Reed, everybody's cracking me up in the comments with the no inclusions, no water, no inclusions.
I think one of us should have to go get that drink as a bet punishment of some kind before the end of this week. I'm like, honestly, I'm furious about this next one. I'm furious that I had to go seek this out, that I had to go find it, that it wasn't brought to my attention after all it being the storyline of the week amongst this crew going into this one, all the Andrew Novak hate. The guy shot 80 today and missed the cut after being all in my ass at multiple times this week. And I had to go see, nobody pointed it out. Nobody apologized. I had to go find that. Now I got to bring it up myself. And he finished. What did he finish? I don't have a place for it. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, he just missed the cut. There's nothing
green
beyond.
Mild a little bit, not the first person
in front of the captain. This all happened in 80.
That's true. Where did Mav finish?
Mav made the cut.
Yeah.
Listen, he didn't putt well. He didn't drive it well.
He
didn't hit his irons very well.
Other than that,
I just don't think it's just,
I ran out of holes.
Listen, he's been playing good golf this year. We can't judge him on one performance, Solly.
Just judge him off his own good performances. The consistency rate doesn't. Anyway,
how about
just felt like that was
right behind him on the leaderboard.
Well,
76, 75 plus 9.
Also, of note, a noted Ryder Cup lock will be playing
last week.
4 major championship rounds so far this year. He did not make the weekend of either of the first 2 majors.
I'm not worried
Russell
about
Henley.
Step. I'm not.
Feels like
Russell
that should
Henley?
be noted. Feels like that should be noted. That's all I'm saying. Ryder Cup, of course,
Sepp will be fine. I'm more worried about Ludwig right now, guys. I think Ludwig, that was a stinker this week, and he drove it really, really poorly. Like, just kind of a big liability for him this week. So
where
I don't know what's going on. I think
my guy got green mild.
Where did Ludwig finish?
Ludwig
75 plus 3.
Plus 3.
Yeah, Ludwig. He tied with JT. Akshay as well. Akshay was at plus 2, and I think another guy that I was a little bit surprised. Keith Mitchell, 72-73. I thought Keith was gonna play well here, given the emphasis on driving. And then Sunjae M. I don't know how Sunjae doesn't make the cut on a setup like this.
And should Brooks plus 9 for Brooks.
I don't think Brooks is necessarily locked in right now.
Yeah, what are you doing, man?
Might be night. Cam Smith, I first mentioned, I think, on the whole pod for the whole week. Maybe he shot 71 today after shooting 78 yesterday, but shot 7 over.
Cam shouldn't have even showed up this week because this course is beneath him. He plays well on really tight, nippy, good grass, tight fescue or tight Bermuda, or even tight rye. This slop fest. He's not gonna get in the slop.
Miscut the Masters, which has all of those things, and missed the cut here as well. Just has turned into a complete non-factor. Missed the cut at the Open last year. That's 3 consecutive missed cuts in majors.
That's tough for that narrative, TC.
T63 at the PGA last year. It's been a really, really tough go.
He's a new father.
He's a non-factor in the golf world right now, and that's unfortunate to report.
So
we need a Daryl survey. We need a Randy survey on. We need to ask which of these guys actually care about one, like being here, and care about golf, like on Tuesday of the major. Can we just like get a poll? Like, yeah, do you care?
Is it anonymous
that you're here
or no?
No, I would like to put names to it. Because, like, yeah, like Cam Smith, why are you showing up, dog? Like, I don't understand. Is it just sponsor obligations? Brooks, like, it seems like you could have had more fun not showing up.
It's pretty sad for me.
I might have to get out there and you know,
others of note.
Survey going.
Will Zalatoris, you know, has not been a great season for him, especially he's had a big fall back in major championships. That's been quite unfortunate. Phil, we mentioned, missed the cut. Team Rose, not at the best of health. Obviously with withdrawing last week and did not look like himself this week. And Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, too many cheesesteaks, man.
Dustin, what did Dustin finish at?
Speaking of not caring, Randy, I think
Plus
you get
12.
do you care? Nah, I'm not really.
Oh, good, man.
Phil showed up Tuesday night. Yeah, nah, I'm probably.
This is 4 straight for Zalatoris missed cuts at majors. I'm just really afraid, and I'm kind of bummed. I don't think we're ever going to see him at the form he was like 2021, 2022. I don't think so.
It's a real fear. I think I still am going to hold out hope that we will, Randy, but it's a real fear at this point. But the DJ thing is legitimately just such a bummer. 12 over, 78-76.
I think he's the one that would be honest with you, though.
I know.
I have like less of a problem with it with DJ than I do with anybody else.
I just don't want this. I don't want DJ to be over, though, man. Like, that guy gave us a lot of drama.
He's getting beat by the Corebridge guys, TC.
the core. He's getting beat by the core.
So unbecoming. It's so unbecoming.
By the 31,000.
Just
he only finished 3 ahead of Blocky.
Randy, is there anyone? It's only Friday. You can wait till Sunday if you want. You can wait till the end of the season, into the major season if you want. Anybody you want to put on death watch? Anyone you want to put on monitoring list? Anybody you want to potentially move to in-home care?
It's Jordan. It's Jordan. Like, I think he's probably dead. But we'll give him the season. I mean, the guy hasn't won on tour in years. Yeah, like I just don't understand what
ye of little faith.
TC, honestly, because I think Spieth being like
not giving up on Jordan
and contending would be the best thing to happen for golf. I just don't walk me through the thesis here. I like what's gonna click. I never see it.
I think he cares deeply. I think he's healthy again. Like, the wrist is better for the first time in a long time. The driver seems like a legit weapon for him. Maybe not to the extent of other players, but it's not a liability anymore. I think if the putter gets hot and he can start riding, Randy, he's a momentum guy. He just needs to establish some momentum, add some momentum. The irons, putter get hot. I truly think, I think Oakmont should be a decent setup for him, and I think Portrush is an awesome setup for him.
I don't know about.
I have zero confidence.
I'm going to give him
making a million bogeys at Oakmont.
I'm going to give him through the end of next year, just because I think, he's still getting back to health and he's still getting his game back and stuff. So
I'm with you there. I think he should get an extended stay, a stay of execution. Randy,
a major medical extension.
He needs a little bit extra help around the house, though. Maybe a life alert install or something. And Randy, we're not waiting for a click. It's not a click with him. It's going to be a click clack, and you'll hear him coming. Okay.
Can we circle back to DJ real quick? TC, at what point do we throw the second major into question? Like, if we're going to challenge,
we already did.
I mean, can we take it away in general? Like,
I mean, if we're going to do that, then we almost have to do the same with JT, because he won. Like, DJ won at Oakmont, which is almost like a second major in and of itself. You get 2 majors for winning a fucking U.S. Open at like a Mike Davis setup Oakmont, and they gave you a penalty down the stretch, and you still won. So I think we can give him a little bit of leeway for winning a fall Masters.
I'm
Whereas,
comfortable with between the two of them being 2, but it's not
Okay.
a full one for
You
winning.
just
this
answered
all.
your own question. Then.
Okay, that's why I'm bringing it up. That's why I'm bringing it up. And I feel like I get there with JT on the 2 majors with the players' validation. I think like Southern Hills was worth about 0.75, Quail worth about 0.75, and a half major for the players is where I get to.
I think Southern Hills was probably worth 1. I have no issue with that. I think the first Quail maybe 0.5.
It was like
you
crown him a little bit.
It was he goes crowned.
Yeah.
That was the statistical anomaly. Is the only reason I would ding him a quarter of a major there. Well, I think we should do a full pod where we award major points for every single one.
Henry Shimp and I have done this. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else before we move to wrap here? Any other notes from today?
Couple fun pairings tomorrow. We got Big Tex, Sergio Garcia, and Harman playing together in a potential, Ryder Cup match. Solly, I know Harman's a lock for you.
LBH.
We've got Torbjorn versus Mav McNeely, another Ryder Cup match. We've got some team bonding going on between Steven Yeager and Rasmus Højgaard. What else do we have? We've got another potential Ryder Cup pairing, Wyndham Clark and Rafa Campos. Depending upon how far we have to go down the U.S. side, because everybody's playing very, very, very poorly. Keegan versus Rahm. That could be a Ryder Cup.
Campos?
He's from Puerto Rico.
He's Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay. Wait,
US citizen.
he's eligible for the U.S.
The
team.
U.S.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a U.S. American.
Taxes, Randy.
Victor Hovland and Tommy playing together tomorrow. That's fun. Victor's kind of lingering a little bit here. And then let's see here. And then I was hoping we were going to get Bland and Bryson, but Bryson's playing with Pendrith instead. So that's kind of a bummer.
And also, I've mentioned Max and Scotty are in the 225 pair.
Thank
tomorrow,
God,
which is
because
exciting.
man, I'm looking at some of those pairings around them, being like, wait a second, this is Saturday of a major, huh?
Randy, full circle from your thoughts up top. Like the interesting leaderboard.
I know.
The final 5, the final 10 players or final 5 pairings: Ryan Fox, Alex Smalley, Michael Thorbjornsen, Christian Bizet, Note, Max Homa, Scotty Scheffler, Matt Fitzpatrick, Siwoo Kim, Jonathan Vegas, Matthieu Pavon. I have a feeling I know what group people are going to be out following tomorrow afternoon. So,
and you skipped Poston and Big Shot Bob, which I would watch that.
well, they weren't the final 5 pairings.
I know, but you just picked the 5 arbitrarily.
5 is it's a somewhat even number. Anyways, how far back is too far back?
I think actually 2 under still in it.
Really?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm totally ignoring Vegas. So
Like 6 is the effective lead here.
yeah,
So 1 is too far back.
well, you're just getting into like you got to just jump a ton of people, and there's
just not really anybody good at 1.
yeah,
either.
that's what I'm saying.
Rom at 227 makes -2.
I mean, could be a big weekend for
Rahm,
Tommy.
Fleetwood, Hovland, Keegan.
Yeah, I think 2 -2 is
good. -1 is too far back.
-1 is too far back.
Do you think Rory's out of it? Honestly,
Randy, I do.
Yeah, I
believe he's
think
out of it.
so. Without the
Do you think they set it up hard?
with the new conforming driver, I think he's out of it. Without the
I
cork,
bet they're
back.
going to want to see birdies tomorrow.
I feel like they're going to want to get like the big guys back into this thing.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like, oh my God, this guy's making a move.
Which I'm almost getting to the point. Like if we don't get a good day tomorrow, I'm starting to worry about like the PGA Championship at large.
Going concern.
Just generally,
Sound the alarm.
is it a viable major anymore?
I think that's worthy of a discussion.
I do too. I think we can get sucked into this Valhalla Quail Hollow vacuum though, and
They
it
keep
gets better.
going to these places.
But they don't have any of those 2 on the calendar going forward, and it gets a little bit better from here on out. This is just a tough dip. Ronamake, Frisco, who knows what's going to happen there?
Yeah,
No
I hope
Olympics,
Frisco's
not
good.
great.
Frisco will
Congressional.
at least be interesting,
Yeah.
right?
Anyways, we can get there. Anything else before we wrap? I want to give a shout out to the No Laying Up newsletter. If you don't want to miss anything NLU related during the PGA Championship week, subscribe to our newsletters. This week, new subscribers will be entered into a random drawing to win a mystery box of goodies from the NLU Pro Shop. We will also pull a second winner from the current subscribers. We got to take care of the current subscribers.
Mystery box is fire too. I know Casey and Jordan, they put a lot of thought and care into that. I actually do have one last shout out, Solly.
Can I tell people to go to subscribe.nolayingup.com/PGA-2025 for all the details. That's where you can subscribe. We'll put that link in the show notes as well. Final shout out.
Final shout out. We had to ship some gear from last night's show out of here. And so after we left the course, we went to the UPS store, pulled up, just lugging gear in there. And I always get a little impatient at the UPS store. They do good work in there.
Much better than the FedEx store.
Yeah, for sure. But you got to measure the box and give the address and double check the address and how, do you want to go? I want to go the cheapest, slowest way possible, blah, blah, blah. So it's just always like a process. It's like, do you have a good email? And I kind of gave her my email, and I'm like at, nolayingup.com, and I'm spelling it. And this guy in the back goes, "Oh, no laying up," comes out of the back room. And I just want to shout out my guy Lucas at the UPS store. Gave him some cups from last night, and just doing good work in there. I went in there not excited to be in the UPS store. I walked out with a smile on my face. So shout out to my guy Lucas.
How about that?
I love that, Neil.
And again, a huge thank you to everyone in Charlotte that came out to our first ever live in-person show last night. I was nervous, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Including the Charlotte Observer, evidently.
I don't think they were there. I don't know where we were getting that. They did respond to some of your comments, which were also broadcast on the internet. So I don't know if they were necessarily there in person, but unbelievable crowd. It was definitely flexing a different muscle for us to do that live and in person. Definitely some lessons learned on that front as well. But so much fun.
The Charlotte Observer said you got totally backed down.
I didn't at all. I'm like, if anything, at best, I met him in the middle. So.
It's not what they wrote.
We can litigate that.
We'll address that on some future chop sessions if we have to.
Yeah.
So thank you again to High Noon. Thank you to our friends, of course, at The Stack, as well as thank you to our friends at Holderness and Born for fitting us out. Thanks everyone for tuning in on a Friday night. It's not been the best major so far, but I got high hopes for this weekend, guys. I do. I think
I do too.
You and Randy, optimistic.
I think it's gonna get fun. It's gonna get good. Can't wait to see what happens. We'll see you back here. We'll be live, of course, at the end of tomorrow's round of play and Sunday as well. Cheers. Crack on.